Nancy Boy on the evening session, and I'm pleased to say here they are, Tim Burgess and Mark Collins from the Charlatans with us, and that's a choice of yours, Tim. Placebo.
Yeah, it's always on the turntable. That one, it's like just play it a lot at home and stuff.
Do you have a flash stereo at home, or are you one of these people who have the same stereo that they've had from about 1986?
I've got three stereos. I've got two turntables, and they're all in the same room as well.
Because I mean, forget cars, you can tell a lot about a man, I think, from his hi-fi. Don't you?
You can tell a lot about Mark through his car. It's a big wedge of cheese.
Big cheesy thingy. Yeah.
What is your car?
Oh, I've got this big Citroen thingy, and it looks like a piece of green cheese.
Does it? Right.
And you're very proud, man.
You look very proud of it.
I love it. Yeah.
Do you find, are you the sort of people who have the need to listen to music?
Yeah. Sort of, I have to sort of like sneak off while my girlfriend's watching the telly and just sort of like go into the other room and sort of whack it up a bit, you know.
Yeah. When you were a kid, though, were you one of those kids who just spent all their money on records?
And cigs. Yeah. Records and cigs.
Do you find now that you've probably got a bit more money than you had when you were a teenager, that you go back and fill in all the gaps in your record collection?
I did buy a record by The Mob the other week.
By The Mob?
Yeah.
No.
It's not great, but I remember like loving it as a kid and stuff.
We should probably tell, I mean, there's probably a lot of people listening to this programme who would never have heard of The Mob, but The Mob was it on Crash Records? It was sort of anarcho-punk.
It was something like that, yeah.
You were telling me next that you had sort of one of those spiky haircuts as a youngster.
Yeah, I had a Mohican.
You didn't, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a Mohican. Was it coloured?
Only at school.
Right.
Only when I was at school.
So, Mark, I suppose you was probably buying guitars then?
No, I was skint.
Right. Can you remember the first guitar you bought, though, and when you bought it?
I do, and I've still got it. I got an Epiphone Riviera in 1984, and I spent every penny I had on it.
One of the reasons probably so many bands come from Manchester is you find all these sort of little sort of second-hand guitar and amp shops, you know, in the back streets.
There's a few of them, but I actually bought this from a reputable dealer, and so I had a guarantee with it.
Well, you need guarantees.
You do,
yeah. Especially if you spent all that money.
And did you get a receipt?
Yeah, I lost it.
So then we spoke shortly after Rob's death, and after that you sort of, I guess, lay low for a while. Was it difficult starting again after the gigs in the summer and everything?
It was good to start playing again, and doing it quite soon.
And then you broke up for the Christmas holidays, and then you come back after Christmas, then out of the blue, or out of the post, I guess, comes your new keyboard player.
A mate of Martin's had heard this guy playing, and gave Martin a tape, and said, just check him out. So we checked him out, and we liked what we heard.
And lives about a mile from where Rob used to live, you know what I mean? So
right.
It's
another Midlander.
What's the sort of Charlatans initiation ceremony then?
It's if you can stay up all night with Martin. Martin sorts him out.
Is that right?
Yeah, if he passes the Martin test, he's in. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we're playing tracks tonight from the Charlatans, the alternative tapes, and earlier on we played a track called Title Fight. Tell us about the version which we've got of that.
Before we put the LP out, we had to choose between Title Fight and How Can You Leave Us on the LP, and How Can You Leave Us was more finished. It was a tough decision.
So that's Title Fight then. We're just about to play How High.
I think How High was not just about feeling on top of the world, really. I think there's sort of like there's quite a few tracks that aren't like that on the record. You know, it's like feeling a bit moody or whatever. But this was like feeling sort of like you just climbed a mountain with your bare feet.
And this particular version, how does this differ?
It's got a couple of extra little guitar bits. You can hear me singing for the first time as well. I do the woo-woo-woos. Yeah.
Okay, featuring Mark Collins on vocals on the evening session. This is the Charlatans, the alternative version of How High.
Not all the singing.
Charlatans on the evening session, and you won't hear that version of How High anywhere else. It's Steve Lamacq with Tim Burgess and Mark Collins in the studio with us. And the new Charlatans album, do you think, because we mentioned this just before we went on air tonight, but it almost feels like this Charlatans album is the third part of a trilogy, which started with Up to Our Hips and the Charlatans, the last album. And somehow it sort of winds up all the plot lines from those two records.
I think it's the Star Wars trilogy in reverse. It's sort of like the best one last.
Well, I think every time you sort of like do a record, there's always things that you think, yeah, I like it, but it should be a little better next time, and you get it better. And this time we've got it the best, yeah. And wanting to get people like Tom and Ed Chemical involved, and Richard Bentley involved, you know. I suppose, yeah, you sort of like stumble across things as you're going.
Because it sounds very natural, this record.
Thank you.
That's fine. I'll give you the piece of paper back in your own handwriting. But it does, though. It sounds quite a natural record.
Got to want to do it, and we, really love making records. And every time we go out and making one, we want it to be the best one that we've ever done.
Are there any particularly obvious new influences that you think that are wound up in this new record?
Well, towards the end, I think Duffy was really good to have around.
Because there's also, there's something almost Bob Dylan-esque, I think, about, so particularly the title track, Telling Stories.
Yeah, sort of acoustic guitar process song.
And then it gets dead heavy.
Then it gets really heavy. But I think,
that's Bob Dylan's entire career.
I know, yeah, exactly, all on one track.
Yeah.
I've always... big Bob Dylan fan.
Because similarly, I think Get On It, In It. In it, not in it.
Get on it, in it.
In it. But Get On It, In It is that's quite
that's
sort of Bob
fault.
Dylan.
That's Mark's fault.
Is that Mark's fault? Yeah. It's got
well, because he forced me to play harmonica on it.
I bought Tim a mouth organ and say, play this on this track, Tim. And he did.
And are you looking forward to playing live again?
I'm just really looking forward to seeing what sort of people turn up at our gigs, because I've not done anything for
since
18 months.
Christmas '95 was the last time we played in Britain.
We haven't forgotten you. I can still recognise who you are. Do you actually think about that, your fans and what who they are these days, and whether they've changed and whether people have stuck with you? And
I just think we've been we were sort of in the studio on and off for like about sort of 10 months and stuff. I just think we just need to get out and play.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. Tim Burgess says he needs to get out more. We'll play another track, and this is You're a Big Girl Now. Tell us about You're a Big Girl Now, the version which we're about to play.
It started off as it was a full group song, and me and Tim were sat in the studio trying to work it out, and just played it on an acoustic guitar, and Tim was singing it, and we thought there's no point putting the rest of the group on, it just sounded like the song was finished.
It's like barroom piano as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we butchered the piano at the studio, nailed a load of drawing pins into it to get that barroom sound on the piano.
Is that right? Spilled some drink in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and stuffed a few cigarettes out and stuff like that.
I think someone was sick in it as well.
I don't think.
No, maybe.
Actually, we need to know that. It's the Charlatans on the evening session. Are you going to maybe do a bit more of this then? You two, you could actually go and do a bit on your own, couldn't you?
Double act.
Yeah, as a double act.
Peters and Lee, something like that.
It's Morecambe and Wise, I was thinking.
Little and large.
Itchy and scratchy.
Smashy and nicely.
Smashy and nicely.
Do it. Okay, the Charlatans on the session, and thank you very much for coming in.
Welcome.
Cheers. This is You're a Big Girl Now.
Pass you by.
Well, if they were busking that in my street, I'd give them money. Thanks to Tim and Mark from the Charlatans, and that was another alternative Charlatans take of You're a Big Girl Now. It's an exclusive track tonight, and this is a kind of new edited version of One to Another. And it kicks in, this. alternative take of the Charlatans one to another, and recorded especially for the evening session. That's it from us this week. Back.
Satellite, always look for the positive. I don't
Charlatans in session and Title Fights, and another track from them on tomorrow night's programme. The Charlatans playing at this year's Tea in the Park Festival, actually.